It's October 2022 and hang on a second. I feel like I've been here before. Yeah, nah, mate, he's out of there. For the third time in about 6 business weeks, Kylian Mbappe has decided that he is leaving Paris Saint-Germain. After not being able to force through a move to Real Madrid in the summer, the French home hero is once again wanting to get out of Paris. But it begs the question, why exactly does Kylian Mbappe want to leave PSG again? Because he's a pagan. Lock off the video right now. There's been some rumblings of this going on for like the last week now, but Kylian Mbappe is already once again unhappy at PSG. And not even exaggerating, this is about 4 months since he signed a contract at PSG amidst an entire transfer saga that seemed as if it was going to end up in his move to the Bernabeu. And where does he want to go again? Real Madrid. Again.
You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
Real Madrid's chairman and owner Florentino Perez was actually quoted saying that he thought that Kylian would regret his move to stay in France pretty much almost immediately, and seemingly that's exactly how it's played out. Because apparently in Christophe Galtier's PSG setup, he's not being played in the exact position in the front three that he was expecting to when he signed the new contract there. It's like you're playing Football Manager and you promise that someone's going to play in a certain position and then you don't play them there. All hell breaks loose, you lose your job, you end up managing in the Isthmian 3rd Division West, and your girlfriend leaves you. Or is that just me? For real though, this guy is a little bit shameless. And PayPal cashing in a transfer request, withdrawing interest in the club, yet he's already made so much bank there. And the reality is he could be hiding behind a facade here. We all know that Kylian Mbappe wants to be the main man in any team that he's in. Lionel Messi and Neymar start taking Uber Eats semi-seriously for 1 month, and he already wants to be out of there. He can't compete with the leaders in the squad, your Sergio Ramoses, your Lionels, your Neymars. The guy's third wheeling at his own club. This is the thing. How does this even happen? It's his club. He is the CEO. With that last contract he signed, he's basically the manager. He handed himself a transfer request. He emailed himself in regards to the matter. Just take that into account for a second. There's 3 men in the Zoom call doing crisis negotiations, and they're all him. Yeah, nah, mate, I think it's time for me to leave. You know what, bro? I hear it. Yeah, nah, get yourself out of there. And how can you call the summer and the transfer dealings that PSG did a failure when you did them? It's like going to a buffet and looking at your plate and saying, nah, this looks terrible. You literally chose everything on the plate. Surely he can't be sat there thinking that this is a normal thing to do about 7 weeks after signing a new contract. And poor Christophe Galtier, he's been there for barely any time at all. I wonder what his thoughts on the matter are.
Yeah. It's only my 3rd day out here. I don't know.
But obviously it begs the question of where Kylian Mbappe is going to end up. Because there's not a huge amount of clubs in the world that can afford his transfer fee alone, let alone then his wages on top. The whole reason he was maybe going to leave was because it was going to be a free transfer. Now someone's got to slap 4.7 billion on the table to get him. Could it be Real Madrid, the fairy tale where he's wanted to go for a number of years now? I mean, Real Madrid fans have got to be bored seeing this saga restart again.
Not another one?
The thing is, he's going to have to do a hell of a lot of apologizing if he wants Real Madrid fans to like him again. They were chanting actual hatred about him after he turned them down and stayed in France. I would like to see that first press conference and apology though.
I wanna say I'm sorry for the things I've done.
Who am I kidding? He's turning up to the Bernabeu with an apology and a complimentary pan au chocolat, and Real Madrid fans are not letting that slide. They're getting him out of there. Kylian's gonna be extremely concerned when he sees what the Real Ultras are gonna do to him. The thing is, would he even work at Real Madrid as well? Would he fit into their system? I mean, from a frontline perspective, you obviously got the likes of Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, Benzema. Mbappe's pretty versatile. He can play across the whole front three. But I don't know, I guess you slide him in for a Rodrigo, which would be a scary attack, let's be honest, especially with that Mbappe-Benzema chemistry. But is he going to be willing to accept the rest of the Real Madrid package? When he takes over and inevitably becomes CEO over there as well, will he be arresting Eden Hazard for leaving the club canteen with a 7th pudding of the afternoon? Can he improve personal performance based on on a Carlo Ancelotti eyebrow raise alone. What will he do as manager when Antonio Rudiger tries another 57-yard special from range?
You can never make it.
Another team piping up, getting interested maybe, could be Chelsea, a side that have struggled a little bit at the start of the season and don't seem to have that same cohesion they had under Roman Abramovich. But there are pictures of Kylian as a kid wearing a Chelsea kit from the early teens. He grew up watching French-speaking African heroes like Nicolas Anelka, like Didier Drogba, like Laurent Malouda. Yeah, he's not going there. He's not. The thing is, this transfer has Todd Bowley written all over it. You just know he's going to be running around the streets of Paris aimlessly, holding a croissant in his hand, thinking that's going to do the business. Paris FC are going to have an absolute field day when Todd pays them £1.6 billion because he accidentally used the wrong club in a text message. And then look, if Erling Haaland joined Manchester City because of his father, it would be unfair to rule out Liverpool when Kylian's mum supports the Reds. Who am I kidding? We're closer to the EFL than PSG. I actually don't even know why Liverpool fans are talking up in this situation. We're 10th in the league. We're below a side we beat 9-0 earlier in the season. Logistically, we don't even make sense as a football club. Just imagine the scenes if Kylian walked into the club and saw the state that we were in. I'd feel sorry for him when he's out on the pitch trying to start a counter-attack and 57-year-old James Milner's slowing the play down. Plus, let's be totally honest, we don't have the facilities for this. FSG's starting bid would not match PSG's evaluation.
Roughly £42,000.
Imagine when John W. Henry realizes he's got to pay a second installment of $793 million. What am I talking about anyway? We don't need Kylian Mbappe. We've got our own version. Ah, man, we're in serious pain. I don't even. And I guess one team that I've not mentioned that could technically afford him is Manchester City. Where he would fit in, I'm not entirely sure. I feel like they're already stacked to the point they just actually don't even need him. Though I can't lie, I would really look forward to Pep Guardiola's interview after selling Taro Machino, breaking down in tears only to sign Kylian the next week.
We cannot replace him.
And I'm mentioning Man City here, and Erling Haaland is an interesting comparison point for Kylian, because these are two players in pretty similar stages of their career, I guess. Mbappe has quite obviously achieved more. He's a World Cup winner, and he's been around for a bit longer on the main stage than Erling has. But they were both prime, absolutely world-class young talents that could have chosen to go anywhere in the summer, and the difference in the way that they've treated these situations could not be further apart. You've got Erling Haaland kind of very professionally going about his business, coming across in a way that Borussia Dortmund fans probably couldn't hate him for. He kind of just kept silent, kind of sprinkled a little bit of hype out there about him joining Man City because we all knew it was going to happen, and then made his decision very easily, very straightforwardly, and went there and was pretty respectful to the club that he left behind. Whereas you've got Kylian Mbappe now, a whole saga created based purely around his teammates casting a bit of a shadow over him then signing a new contract, one of the most money-grabbing contracts and power-grabbing contracts I think I've seen in world football, and then deciding he wants to leave like 2 months later. And look, listen, like, if PSG was stupid enough to give him the money, go get your money up, Kylian, that's fine. But it seems a little bit hypocritical to then say you're gonna leave afterwards. And that's my big problem with Kylian Mbappe now. You know, when he was coming up, when he was at Monaco, and when he first got that move to PSG, I loved watching him. I felt like this was a young player that I could actually root for. You know, Erling Haaland might play for Man City and he might destroy my club on the weekends, but the reality is, as a character and as a sporting individual, he's quite likable. Whereas I feel like with Kylian Mbappe recently, man, like, this guy's throwing his toys at the pram at every opportunity. But where does he go? I guess that is the main question here. I mean, Real Madrid is an obvious option. They have pretty much all the money that you could imagine, but it's not in their financial interest after they could have got him for free a summer ago. And apparently PSG aren't willing to let him go there, but are willing to allow him to go basically anywhere else. Barcelona, please, for the love of God, don't try this. Don't try and structure his registration payments over the next 11 years. Just sit this one out, just for a bit. Liverpool can't afford him. I doubt he'd come here. Chelsea, honestly, Chelsea are not in a position where I could imagine Kylian Mbappe wanting to go there. Man City, I think, have all the talent in the world. They could definitely afford him. It's one of those where, does he wait like a year and a half till maybe a Newcastle are a bit more on the scene with all the financial pulling power that they're gonna have? But what do you think about this whole situation, and where do you think Kylian Mbappe is gonna end up? Let me know down in the comments section below what team you think Kylian is gonna end up playing for next. But if you enjoyed this video, then feel free to slap a like on it, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at officialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.